Okay, guys, been a while, but we're back with another BioLayne weekly training summary. And I know I always try to start these off with goofy or funny clips, but didn't really have a whole lot this week, or well, the past few weeks. I know I've been kind of incommunicado. Lot going on. Isabel's parents have been in town. My parents are in town. Traveling a lot, and just kind of sporadically getting video here. But I'll talk about my training and whatnot. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of this stuff is just first and last sets, but of the workouts. But you know, we got what we could, and I still think we got some good footage. So hope you guys enjoy it. And BioLayne Weekly Training Summary is back. Get ready. Oh my goodness, where am I at? Well, so for those of you who don't know, I've been working on building my own home gym. My wife and I just recently moved, and son, obviously. We recently moved to a new house, kind of our 20-year dream home, which we're really excited about. And so I am training. This is me. We put together a training room, and this is me training with Paul. Paul and I set the gym up the night before. We're doing 6 sets of 4 with 320. And so a lot of people have kind of commented and been trying to be funny, saying, "Oh, you training in your living room, etc., because the windows look nice and that sort of thing." But this is actually a room. I have two-car garages with a room in between. And this is the room in between. It's actually made to be a workout room. The previous owners built this house in 2009, I think. And when we went and looked at it, so there's two-car garages. In between is this room. This room has a wall-mounted air conditioner, and they were using it for a workout room, although it was mostly cardio. But that's all right. We won't hold it against them. Because I know I'm going to get asked, what is everything? Well, I have interlocking rubber mats on the floor, and then I have 2 8x6 platforms on top of those. The platforms are from Texas Strength Systems. The rack is from Texas Strength Systems. The bars are Rogue Ohio Power Bars, which are IPF spec. They have the same tensile strength as the Alico bar. And I love these bars. And then lockjaw collars, and then cap barbell weights, and then my dumbbells are the Bowflex Select Tech, which obviously they go from 10 pounds to 90 pounds. I'd love to have a full rack of dumbbells, but the room is only 12 by 7, or it's 12 by 17. So I kind of have to maximize my space, and so adjustable dumbbells are where it's at for me. And then I also have a drop-in bench for the rack, which you saw. The bench is an IPF spec bench, and it is also from Texas Strength Systems. I was really happy with all their stuff. It took a while to get. It took about 6 weeks, but I was really happy with it, and for really really good price too. I think the rack was brand new, was just under $600, so I was pretty happy with everything. So anyways, there's that kind of out of the way. If I see any equipment I forgot about during the video, I'll talk about it. But let's talk about training. So squats are definitely feeling better. You saw one of my sets of squats earlier that week. I think that was 505 for 4 sets of 7. And then here, so on squats, I'm doing 753. As my reps. So day 1 is reps of 7, day 2, the next day is reps of 5, and the last day is reps of 3. On bench, I'm doing 4 days a week, and that is 6, 4, 2, and 1. And then on deadlift, I'm doing 5, 3, 1s. Not doing any AMRAP sets on deadlift or bench, just on squat. Ben and I talked. He really wants my squat to come back. Here's Paul being cheeky. Looking big sexy there. But Ben really wants my squat to come back. We talked about how it didn't feel great the last training block. Well, you're going to see it's definitely been kind of back with a vengeance in this training block. So I'm really happy about that. Deadlifts have kind of felt but I think part of that's because I haven't been doing AMRAPs, and I'm not getting real psyched up for these, or for deadlifts, and so I think that just makes it harder for me to move it fast. So I'm not real worried about it. Bench has been feeling okay. It's been feeling better throughout the training block. I'm showing you some. Everybody always asks about, do you do accessory work? Do you do accessory work? Yeah, I do. Not as much the past few weeks because I have family in town, and it's hard for me to justify, going into the gym for 2 hours to do accessory work. So it's mostly just the main lifts. So this is one of the toughest workouts I've done. So this was 2 weeks ago, around there, and I was scheduled to do 6 sets of 5 with 535. But because of a mix-up in my programming, not Ben's fault, my fault, I did one less set on earlier in the week. This is my first set with 5, and that's why it looks like crap. I did one less set with 7 at 510 earlier in the week, or 505. 505. And so Ben was like, "We'll just make it up this day." So I ended up doing 6 sets of 5 with 535, and then a set of 7 with 505 after this. And that was also doing deadlifts that night as well, which you're going to see some of those. That was a friggin' brutal workout. So I think this is the last set. So 6 sets of 5 got to be pretty brutal. Getting pretty tired by the end there. But, we grind through it. And one of the things about me is that, I'll have reps where, like my first rep, if I'm not in line, it'll move super slow and it'll look like I almost can't do another one, and I'll do 5 more. I'm weird like that, I guess. So yeah, here's the set with 505 for 7. And it's funny because people ask me, does it, 500 pounds must feel pretty easy now since you squatted 650 or whatever it is. And the fact of the matter is, no, 500 pounds still feels like it's going to crush me. Especially if I just go up to the rack without being focused and without being psyched up. If I try to do 500 pounds just kind of willy-nilly, it literally feels like it's going to crush every bone in my body. So, no, it doesn't feel lighter. I'm just able to handle it better. Paul can attest to this. Even warming up with like 435 for a single, I've looked like I'm going to get stapled because my head's just not in it. And so, yeah, it's not that weight has gotten easier. It's just I'm able to handle it better. So here are the deadlifts, and you can see a little bit more of the room. I've got some racks to hang my belts, and we've done a few more things to this. So this night was doing 590 for 5 sets of 3. And it was moving pretty decent, actually. I was actually pretty surprised how well it was moving. You see me here with Versa grips, but I have been doing about half my sets with chalk and just bare grip. Although as meet approaches, I'll probably trim that down a little bit just because my hands get really calloused, and it actually makes it harder for me to hold on to the hook grip. So here is. This is not this week, not the previous week, but this is like 2.5 weeks ago, AMRAP. So this is, I was supposed to do 5 sets of 3 and then an AMRAP with 570. But I didn't pay attention to the sheet, and I did 6 sets of 3 and then an AMRAP with 570. So, yeah. But it turned out to be okay. So this is, like I said, 570. And what's crazy is that in the previous training block, I was doing, 535 for like 4s. And it felt heavier than this. So here's the AMRAP set. And I believe I end up getting 6 here. In fact, I'm almost certain I get 6 here. So I was really happy with that. That's basically equivalent to, or actually, no, it's better than my all-time PR because I'm at a lighter body weight now. So obviously I was really happy about that. I think squats are back up to at least where they were at Raw Nationals and possibly more. So I'm really looking forward to kind of testing again and seeing where I'm at and getting after it. So yeah, there's the beast yell. Oh God, I have trouble watching myself in videos sometimes. So here is bench press. This is for doubles, 340 for 6 sets of doubles, I believe. And this felt but like I said, it's been getting better throughout the weeks. Also, shameless plug, rocking the BioLayne Fear Mediocrity tee, available on outworkapparel.com. Back says, "Do not fear failure, fear mediocrity." In shameless plug. But actually, I really love how the shirts came out. So thank you to Outwork Apparel for that. I really love this bench from Texas Strength Systems. It feels awesome. Feels just like a competition bench. I've really been trying to focus on keeping my lats tight, and I didn't do a good job on that second rep there. So this is the next day, my 4th bench day. This is 350 for singles, and that actually moved pretty smooth. But there's been times where when I'm lowering the bar, I get to about the last inch or so. Got the benefits of working home, wife spotting me after she just got back from the store. But that last inch, I did a good job there, but the last inch sometimes is I get loose on. Now that looked like a mishmash of weights, and that was because I was doing bench in between sets of deadlifts. So this is 625 for singles at I think 4 singles I did. And so anyway, that's why I had to kind of mishmash the weights, because I ran out of 45s. And I'm actually going to be ordering more 45s. So you can see me here practicing with the hook grip. Need to work on, you don't want to over dip, but I also think I'm not getting my hips low enough on those, so I'm going to work on that. Okay, here's week 2 of what you guys missed. This is 510 for 5 sets of 7. And actually, these are moving pretty well. In fact, there you see me smile at the beginning. I'm like, yep, we got it. In fact, I have actually never felt this fresh. I don't want to say fresh, but this non-beat the crap out of, non-beat up this far into a really heavy intensity block like this. I was doing similar numbers for Raw Nationals, albeit I was conservative maxing every week on squat and bench, and that does take a toll on you. But similar numbers on my working sets. Actually, these are heavier working sets than I was for Raw Nationals, and I felt way worse during that block for Raw Nationals. So here I'm actually feeling pretty good. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm still tired. I walk in the gym, and some days I want to throw up when I look at a barbell. But it's still moving, and so can't complain about that. And it just overall has been going really well. I mean, you can see these sets of 510 are really moving. This is the 5th set right here, the last one. It's really moving. Camera angle, I just decided to do something different. I don't know. How many ways can you film squats? So yeah, this day really felt good and was moving smooth. So I was really happy about that. And anytime you can get squats that heavy that move smooth, you got to be happy. And then this is what is this? Oh, so this is supposed to be 570, I believe. And on one side, on this right side, I actually had more weight. I accidentally put an extra plate on there, I believe. I'll find out next set. Yeah, I actually had, the 10 was not supposed to be on there, so it's supposed to be 570, but it was 580. And so this is for a set of 5s. And these were actually moving pretty smooth this day. You can see my hips are a little bit lower. And I'm really driving off the floor. So I was pretty happy about those. And that was for 5 sets. And then here is squats. The 5s. So this is 6 sets of 5 with 545. And they felt okay. A little bit cooler outside this day, so I had the leggings on. This day felt okay. Not bad, not great, but okay. So, and with 545 for sets of 5, I'll take it. 6 sets, once you get up in that range, it really just starts to grind on you a little bit. And just staying focused is mentally tough. Shout out to my friends at Donuts and Deadlifts for the shirt. I love that shirt. So, let's see here. Yeah, so this is the last set, I believe. And I think it moved a little bit smoother than the first set. Usually, I'm interesting on squats. I will, there's a definite sort of improvement as my sets go on, and then it starts to fall off near the end. So basically on squats, I get better on my sets until I get fatigued, and then I start to get worse again. But I guess that's probably pretty normal. And also why I tell people in meets, at least for me, that's why it's super important for me to start out with a conservative first attempt, because it's probably going to be my worst attempt in terms of how I execute it. This is, okay, so here's bench press, actually. So I kind of mishmashed these. This is actually the following day. I'd been out fishing all day with my friends, Nick Mavromates and Will Grazione. And boy, did we kick butt too. We caught a lot of bluefish and jack and snapper. Good times. I just accomplished one of my lifelong dreams of getting a boat. So I have a 18.5-foot center console fishing boat, and we've been having a lot of fun on that. But anybody who's been out fishing all day knows, man, it takes it out of you. So I came back and had 6 sets of 4 with 325, and it's pretty brutal, but got it done at 10 o'clock at night. But like I said, you can have, what do they say? You can have results or you can have excuses, but you can't have both. So we got it done. There was that last set right there. So I was pretty happy. And then going back, this was the day previous, I guess I got a little bit confused and I put them in order of squat, bench, deadlift. As you can see, went back to the original shirt and lifting attire. And this is 595? 595 for sets of 3. And it was moving really, really smooth, so I was a little bit fired up. So it's 5 sets of 3 with 595. And like I said, it had been moving. This is probably the smoothest deadlift day I'd had. So here's the sets of 3. This is the AMRAP set. This is the AMRAP day. So this is 6 sets of 3 with 580, and then an AMRAP set. So 7 sets total with 580. The flashing you're seeing is my photographer, Stephen Fain. He's doing photos for the BioLayne shirts. They'll be up on outworkapparel.com. So we were taking some professional photos of those. So that's with all the flashing. And obviously the reps on this first set looked terrible. That was because I had a lot going on. My parents got into town this day while I was lifting. So I was going out, hugging them and saying hi. And then my son was outside. Stephen was taking pictures of him. He actually ran in the room on one of my sets, and I kind of had to regroup because I was about to unrack the bar, and he came running right in front of me. My dog came in the room, so there's just all kinds of mess going on. But what was fun was Ben Escrow and Ryan Doris showed up, and Ben was watching my last set of squats, and he said I executed them pretty well. And this was for 5 reps, so I was pretty happy with that. It's just a little bit lower than my all-time PR. With 585 where I got 5, but that was a much heavier body weight too, so pretty happy. And obviously not with nearly the same volume in the overall workout. So here are this day was 5 singles with 630 on deadlift, and they were moving slow. But that's okay. And so got those done, and then Ben was actually testing at his place. So I went over to do my doubles on deadlift at his place. I'm sorry, my doubles on bench at his place later that night. And this is 345 for 7 sets of 2. Ben did well too, testing. Check out Ryan Dorse over there in his pajamas, taking a photo of me. But Ben actually did really well. I mean, for those of you who don't know Ben, he's been dealing with a lot of injuries. You know, he's a really long guy, and it's really hard for him to stay healthy, even though he's so good with form. But he had a 480 squat, which isn't far off his best ever. This is his third bench attempt, which was 315, I think, and he nailed it. And he's weighing in like right around 200 pounds, I think. You know, and a lot of people, I'll go ahead and answer the question. People go, well, why do you have somebody who's, you know, not stronger than you do your programming? Because just because somebody's stronger doesn't mean they know what the hell they're doing. And just because somebody's weaker than you doesn't mean they don't know what they're doing. You know, Ben is just put together that, you know, we've talked about this. He's probably never going to be an elite powerlifter. He puts up good numbers, but he's just, you know, he has trouble staying healthy because of his frame. And, you know, but that doesn't mean he doesn't have great ideas on training. In fact, what you'll find, and just look at coaching in any industry, okay? In terms of like Major League Baseball, football, the greatest players don't usually make great coaches. And that's because things come easy to the greats. They come easy to them, and they can't always translate why they're able to do what they did, you know? Whereas Ben has to fight and claw for every single pound he gains on his squat or his deadlift or his bench press. And because he gets injured so often, I'm sorry, real quick, that was I only took one video. That was 5 sets of 7 with 515. Here is 305 for 7 sets of 4, which only the first and last set I recorded. You know, Ben has had to become as efficient as he possibly can on his technique, because if he's not, he will get injured and he won't get the maximum amount of weight. And that's the same for people in other sports too. Usually your best coaches are people who were kind of mediocre at what they did, and are kind of mediocre at their sport in the pros, and they, you know, they had to learn every single kind of tip they could do in order to make themselves as good as they possibly could. Yes, no shirt bench, you know, completely raw. This was actually a pretty humid day in Florida, or night in Florida. It was like 85 degrees plus humidity. I turned the air conditioner on, but it just wasn't cooling down very quickly. I probably need to turn that on an hour before I'm going to go in. And so I ended up taking my shirt off on bench and deadlift for a few attempts. These are sets of 5 with 560. Yes, 560. So, yeah, but actually I could make excuses, but let's just be frank. I just want to lift in my gym and take my shirt off, so I don't really care. So, yeah, I guess I was mistaken. It wasn't 570. It was supposed to be the previous week on deadlifts. It was 560, and I messed that up. So I thought this would be, since I already had my shirt off, I was like, well, it might be a cool angle to go from the back, and people can see, you know, back activation. You know, you should be able to see my lat activation when I pull from the ground, that sort of thing. So I thought it'd be a cool angle to get, even though the lighting is kind of washed out from the bright lights in the room. Doing a little bit better job getting my hips down here. Still need to really work on that, but the biggest thing is I'm breaking the ground with my quads, and I'm keeping my back in line. Alright, so I didn't get any videos from this week. So all you need to know is that sets on squats were 5 sets of 7 with 515, 6 sets of 5 with 550, and then sets of 3 with 585. 6 sets of 3 with 585, and then an AMRAP. And then deadlift sets were the same as last week. It was 5 sets on all days, 531 with 560, 595, and then 530. Bench was 305, 325, 345, and 355 for reps of 6, 4, 2, and 1. 7 sets on all bench sets. And then squats were obviously 7, 5, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 sets. This is the AMRAP right here on 585. Got 5 reps. Breaks an all-time PR because this is a lighter body weight. I will take it. I'm happy with it. Squats are feeling pretty decent. I got a line on these first couple, and that probably slowed me down. But you know what? We still got it. So that's it, guys. We'll catch you next week. Thanks for watching.